Hey everyone, Comic Journey back here again, and today we are going to do part two of New Comic Book Day because yesterday was only part one DC. And like I mentioned yesterday during the stream, I discovered that you could get DC books on Tuesday, which I think I'm kind of regretting that now that I know that. I'd rather, as you can see, I got the rest of the stuff that I wanted to get today. And I feel that if I go twice a week, I'm going to end up getting more than I would have gotten if I just went once a week because now I'm looking at other stuff. So I think I'm going to stick to Wednesdays and make sure that whatever I want to get, the stuff that I want for sure to get, it's in my pull boxes from the LCS and continue that way because I think this is going to get expensive. I'm going multiple times a week and I don't want to do that. That being said, I went to two different LCSs today, and the reason why I do that is there's one place in particular that I go to, and they give me a 10% discount on some of the stuff I get. Actually, all the new stuff that I get. So I go to them to get a lot of the more expensive books and majority of the stuff that I get, and then there's another smaller LCS that doesn't get quite as much stuff, but they're really good guys, and they also do pressing services and other stuff, and give me good deals on back issues. So I want to support both places, and I don't want to basically give all my business to just one place and kind of lock up the small guy. Um, so I'm doing what I can to support the local businesses and trying to keep as many places going as possible. Now, the smaller places they can't give me a discount or they don't want to give me a discount, but I'll still get a handful of books. You can see um, I have two stacks. The bigger stack is obviously from the place that I get the most of the stuff from, and the smaller stack is from from the other place. So we do what we can. We'll support the community, and we'll keep doing what I can. And at the same time, I try to expand my horizons because sometimes you see stuff on the walls and in the back bins and stuff like that that you don't normally find. So now I gave you a little trick, a little secret to what I'm doing. So let's start with the new books. First book I got here is Wolverine 11. This is not a new book, and I'm going to show you why I got this book. Wolverine, the current series, is about 13 or 14 issues in. And I wasn't around when this first started in the collecting world. So I figured it's short enough of a run for me to try to play catch up. Now, this was in a box that they have in the front. Let's see how I should have put these in order before I took everything out. But, oh, by the way, here's our comic shop news, which I love and I look forward to getting every single time. I'm not sure why they always come up with two of them at a time. I'm not sure if they come out bi-weekly, twice a week, or I'm not sure. But every time I go, I always find two different versions. But look forward to reading this stuff. I like looking at previews and little like inside of what's going on. So let me not ramble on that. By the way, the bigger comic shop always has these. The smaller one doesn't always have these. That's another thing I like about going to the bigger shop. And the bigger shop gives promos like the one I'm about to describe. So I got Wolverine 11, and then I got a Hulk 45. Man, I should put these in order before I did the live cast. Let me see what else I got here. I'll get to everything. You'll see everything nicely, and I'll make sure that you don't miss out on anything. Okay, so I got everything here. Okay, so now I could explain to you what I'm doing. So I got Wolverine 11. I found Hulk 45. I found an issue of Hulk number 2, the Immortal Hulk. Now this is a fifth printing, believe it or not. Can you believe this thing had 5 different printings? It's bonkers. But it worked out well for me because I don't have any of the printings of Hulk number 2, Immortal Hulk. And then I got issue number 35. And again, I'm doing something very similar to what I'm doing with Wolverine. This is a run that doesn't have a lot of issues of. I already have a handful of the Hulks. So I'm going to try to bring it all together from one to current, and finding them as cheap as possible. And I'll get into how I got these. And you can understand what I mean by that. And then I got an Eternals number 1. This is a variant edition. I love this cover, by the way. So I got this Eternals because I basically want to check out and see um, what the Eternals new series is all about. I don't know anything about what the current stuff is. What current stuff is happening with the Eternals. I do know the older stuff. I'm sure they're going to do really drastic changes and drastic things with the characters, especially coming up movie and that kind of thing. So I want to kind of check out and see what the comic current world of the Eternals is all about. So if this is a nice series, I'll continue with it. But it'll take a lot for me to be engaged and stay with the Eternals because Eternals were one of these things where I would go pick up a few issues, like them, and then all of a sudden it dragged on and not in past. So we'll see how that works. So the way I bought these was they had a promo for buy 4 get 1 free. So essentially, these are all $3.99 cover price books, and they all were at cover price. So I bought all 4 of them for $3.99 each, $16, and I got the fifth one for free. So essentially, it cost me, you know, $3.20 each copy, which is a good way to be able to catch up on back issues that you might need. I don't think anything here is a key or anything of importance, but it's a nice way for me to rebuild my collection and start from scratch with some current young runs. So since we got the Wolverine 11 here, we might as well go to X-Men number 1. So X-Men decided to jumpstart another series of one, which is driving me crazy. By the way, you know what else drives me crazy? The fact that there's none of these in plastics. That drives me bonkers. It drives me off the wall. It drives me crazy. Um, I really think comic shops should, at the very least, put their new books into plastics, or I offer a service where it goes into plastics, um, instead of just selling them raw and then have to worry about them getting damaged in transportation. It's my pet peeve. It's me. It's me talking about it. I don't know. Now everybody's using the excuse that there's a depletions of plastic and stuff like that. Yeah, that might be true, but the comic shops, they have enough to be able to cover the books, and and if it was only for now that was happening, I would be a lot more understanding. But it's not. This was happening well before the pandemic hit. That people were putting the books on raw on the racks, and this wasn't happening in the '90s, and definitely not in the '90s, early 2000s. Every time I went into LCS during that time period, the books were at least in a passive protective sleeve. Some of them actually put them in boards as well. But again, maybe I'm just one of these older generation collectors that have my little weird consistency. Now, there were a million covers of these X-Men's, million of them. Um, this what was the one that was pulled out for me, which was a nice copy. I like this one, but I also browsed really quick at what else they had available on the racks, and this one really struck me. And it's actually a Liefeld cover, believe it or not, which surprised me that the Liefeld cover actually was the one that struck me. But he did a nice job with this, a nice different look. Did well with this one. No feet, by the way, for all the Liefeld fans out there. But I ended up picking these. I could have went bonkers picking all the covers. I didn't want to do that. Two covers are more than enough for me. I didn't find anything else that was really over the top that was going to knock me out. So this one, I'm looking forward to reading this story. Um, I don't like the fact that they're rebooting the number system again. I really wish they just went with a straight legacy system where we're like in the 600s or 700s at this point right now with the X-Men. It annoys me. I really, really wish that they kept that going. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way. If you are watching on the chat, please let me know how you feel about that. Um, it's just I don't like the reboots of number ones. I really don't. And next book over here is another copy of Nice House on the Lake number two, cover A. Didn't pick this up on spec. I picked this up actually just to give it to somebody that asked me to keep my eyes out if there was another copy in the stores. And I told him if I find one, I'll pick them up. So this one is not staying in my collection. This is going to go to somebody I know that was looking for it. And I'm actually, he better be happy that I did find one because there was only like 3-4 copies left on that rack. I got my copies yesterday. Next on the list is Geiger number 4. And I'm not sure what's a cover A. I'm not sure what's a cover B. But out of the ones they had available, these were the most intriguing to me. I got this one because it looks more uniform with a lot of the other stuff that I've been seeing with the colors and everything. And I like to have consistency, especially if I have sets of books. And I found this one intriguing as well. Again, I'm not going crazy with the variants as far as collecting every single variant out there. And preferably, I'd probably pick up only one copy of every issue out there. But I am seeing how hot this character is. I mean, when you have a series that's into number 4 and they're doing multiple printings already of all the previous issues, you got to take note of that. And because of that reason, I won't go crazy overdoing it and specking and buying multiple copies of each book. But if there's different covers, I will pick up another alternate cover. So that way I could justify to myself that I am getting the same book, but at least it has a different cover. Then the next book on the list over here is Hulk 48. So I'm actually really interested in seeing what direction Donny Cates is going to take this book. Um, this kind of looks like Peach Momoko. I'm not sure if it is, and if anybody in the chat um, knows, let me know. It kind of looks like her. I'm not a huge fan of this style that she does. Nothing against her. She's very talented in what she does and that style. It's just I don't like that for a comic book format. However, this is one of the few times I saw one of her covers. If it's her, it might be somebody that's a copycat that looks like her. Um, but I saw this cover with the white background and almost a sketch um, pencil look to it, and I definitely went with this instead of getting the cover A cover of it. Um, and that was just preference thing. Not sure when Donny Cates is taking over this book. Let's see who's a writer on this. Who's a writer? Who the hell is John Paul? Oh, I know who that is. Guy died. Sad. Um, Black Panther. They're making another Black Panther number 1. Again with the number 1s. It's driving me nuts. Who wrote this? Where are the credits? I don't know where the credits are. Do you have them in the back? The other thing is, it is Peach Momoko variant. See, it says it right in the back. Copy Peach Momoko. Okay, so it is still Al Ewing. Joe Bennett's still a penciler on it. I don't know if the penciler is going to change with. I don't know if it's going to change with the new writing direction, but I kind of hope it does because I really don't like this version of Hulk the way he looks. He looks, I don't know, kind of like weird, really, really weird. Look at all these. I don't know. it's like more of a Frankenstein mashup kind of monster kind of thing, which I guess it goes back to its roots, but I like the classic Hulk look. You know, I'm actually looking forward to them going closer to that than this. But this was it. Next book on the list is Noctera #5. Now, again, there was like a million covers of this. This is the one that I like the best. It's a nice, sharp cover. Not sure if I'm going to continue. Not sure. Hey, Manuel, how's it going? Peaches hit or miss. Hulk has a green giant feel. Yeah, it does. It does. And I don't know if it's the fact that it had a white background here that hit me more than anything else. But there was just something about this cover that got me. And normally, anybody that knows me or anybody that see me comment or in the chats knows I'm not a fan of this kind of art. It's just, again, there's nothing personal to the artist, Peach Momoko in this case, or any other artist that draws in a similar way. That's their style. There's a very good purpose for it. I just don't prefer that in a comic format. I prefer this kind of style. You know, even this style is not for me. This is a little too digital looking in Noctera. Let me see what I can find. Now, this is definitely cool. This stuff is dynamite, but I can't expect a whole comic to be. But you see, these are more classical style, like typical comic book format type of drawings. I don't know who the cover artist on this one is. Let's see who the. Don't know. Doesn't say if. See, cover by Adam Kubert. Maybe it kind of does look like Kubert. Um, yeah. So Adam Kubert, Andy Kubert, that kind of art. That's what I typically associate more for um, comic book art, especially when it comes to superhero comic book art. You could change the styles dramatically when you're doing other storylines and stuff like that. And this would be a wonderful, in my personal opinion, wonderful look for something that's more of that fairy tale, fantasy world kind of a situation, that kind of thing, more children stuff. Yeah, all the way. Um, Maybe like the dream world kind of landscapes. That's a beautiful effect. I just don't find it intriguing for me to be on every single cover out there. And I think they're overusing her dramatically. I think they're really, really overusing her. So going from there to here, now Terra, I'm on the fence right now. It started off good, and I feel that it's kind of floundering right now. It's almost losing me. I said to myself, I'll pick up this issue. It's up to #5. This is #5. And if this doesn't really pull me back in, this might be the end of the run of what I'm buying from Noctera. Um, I know there's other people that really like this comic. I like the fact that they have wraparound art on these covers. Wish more companies would do that. You know? But we'll see. I'm very curious. I hope they pull me back in. They got a great prototype, and I'm going to give it a shot. And like I said, if I don't like it, I'll let everybody know that I don't like it, and I really don't want to talk about the stories as much as other people do because I know that it spoils it for people. And this is the kind of thing that you can have a comic that's sitting there for 6 months or a year. Some of these older ones I picked up in the beginning, um, and discover it for the first time. And if you got people giving constant spoilers, that initial discovery, that what the hell kind of moment where you read something shocks the hell out of you, you lose it. So I try not to do spoilers on here. I mean, if you guys want me to talk and give you blow by blow of the stories and what I like and not like about the stories, I'll do that. And if you're listening to live chat, let me know that. If you're watching on the replay, let me know that as well. Anybody out there that's watching, if You haven't liked the channel, press a little like. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. That's what we tell people on YouTube. That's the thing. So I have to say it. Otherwise, I won't be the YouTube guy, I guess. If you get a chance, check out the Monster Kill Squad. It has the detailed art style. I'm going to check that out. You know what? I think I. Somebody else was telling me about the Monster Kill Squad, and I don't think I paid attention to it. You know what? I will. I'll check it out. And if it's that kind of style art, sometimes I'll be pulled in strictly on art. I'd rather it be both the art and the writing because you can't hold me there forever just on the art. If that was the case, I'd be getting every beautiful painted art cover from Vampirella and some of these amazing Ross covers and stuff like that. You could only get me to a certain point on buying strictly on art, and and I am known for buying comics regardless of the story or regardless of the content, just because of the cover and the art that's on there. So one of the things that gets me the most is some of the Swamp Thing art that's out there. A lot of times I'm not that into the story that much, but the art gets me. Um, and occasionally I'll buy one just because of the cover, and I have to give it a chance. Some of those Joker covers that have been coming out with this new Joker series are amazing. And I wasn't going to give Joker a chance, and it was a couple of those covers that pulled me in, that actually got me to be buying that on a consistent basis now, at least for now. So I'll definitely check that out, Emmanuel. Monster Kill Squad. Next book on the list is Out of Body. Now, I didn't pick up number one, and I don't know if I'm making a mistake right now for going straight to number two. Hopefully, I'll be able to understand what I'm reading and not be lost completely for not getting number one. But I heard a lot of really good reviews on number one, and by the time I, figured out, let me go get a copy, they were all sold out. So I guess I'll have to wait for a second printing or something like that, or reorder, who knows, of Out of Body. But I figured in the meantime, let me get number two, give it a glance. If it's something that intrigues me, I'll keep going with it. But I like these kind of storylines, but they just gotta, they gotta be original to keep me hooked. If they're not original, and let's see what kind of art's in here. See, again, the art's not bad in here, but it's got that digital look, that digital color look. That it's nice, and it goes well with the glossiness. It really is. I'm like so nostalgic for that old school gritty pencil look and colored look that a lot of these comics have been lacking. I know that it's a lot easier to do it through the computer. It's a lot seamless, a lot more efficient and quick. I get that, but I miss that old school look, and I really think I'm gonna, when I finally done, uh, you know, creating my own comic, what I'm working on right now. I think I'm going to make the initial run old school, where you have a nice, like, kind of glossy cover, and then it's going to be newsstand paper, a newspaper on the inside. I think I'm going to do that just because I want that look back, and there's got to be somebody out there that is missing that look and really like it, or maybe I'm the only one, or maybe I'll just do a limited run of those just for my own personal satisfaction to say I did it, and whoever likes it will get it. I don't know. I got to think of it, but I'm missing that. The next book on my list is Tales Told in Technicolor, Season 1. Now, this is an interesting book. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this guy's face. He's like a monster, skeleton, robot guy. Pretty nutty. I like the title, original title. I like the whole play on Technicolor, that kind of techno horror, Technicolor. Art's dark. Again, it's got that computer digital look. This is kind of different. This is reminiscent to a lot of these '80s indie book styles, which is pretty good. You got a little bit of that grittiness. It looks like you did a little pencil, a little bit of coloring in different ways. This is pretty interesting. So I got this one because it looks like an interesting book. Two, AMKM and Comic Book Poser for anybody that knows them. And if you don't know them, you should definitely check them out. They got their own channels. They do auctions as well. They had their own exclusive cover of this as well, which I'm going to be getting soon when they ship it out and that kind of thing. But it was a much more expensive cover because it's an exclusive. Goes without saying. So, because of that reason, I said, let me pick up the trade cover, which is this, so I could read it and see if this is actually good. I bought those books to support them because they're really good guys. And I'm hoping that the book is actually really great because if it is, they'll look, they did a really good thing by making that exclusive. So let's go into the second stack. This is the books from LCS number 2. Okay. Now this is the one I get the less books from, but I do a lot of other services with them. I buy a lot of back issues from them as well. I have a small pull box with them because they don't have the same discounts that the bigger place does. And obviously, from a financial point of view, it'd be foolish for me to buy a lot of comics every month and give up a 10% discount that I'm getting. So I'm getting them through there, and then I'm getting a smaller set. I'm getting at least 7-8 titles, I guess, from them every month, steady, and whatever extras that they have, because they actually have the rights to all the whatchamacallit. Come on, it'll come back to me. What's that? Bad Idea Studios. They're one of the few LCSs in our region that actually has them. So I get all those from them for sure. And then they do pressing services. They'll submit to CGC. I got 2 books with them right now, the CGC. So I like to support everybody in the best way I can. So let me show you a couple of things that are not quite brand new that I picked up of them. This is a book that I picked up for the pure fact that it's basically giving a little bit of an origin and understanding of the Illuminati. This was all from the time period that I didn't buy a lot of books. So I'm a little clueless about what the real story is with the Illuminati and stuff like that. Supposedly this issue clears up a lot of stuff. It was for $5. Couldn't go wrong with that. Only $1 more than what the cover was originally. And this is more than anything else for me to be able to learn with. And I don't think other than that there's anything significant about it. And then the next book I got was actually sitting on the new comics racks right behind all the Avengers issues, the new ones. I guess they probably had a million of these #1 issues that came in. But I figured let me get #1 of this run because I like having #1s. So I figured let me get #1 of this issue so I could have it. I have read a couple of these newer Avengers. They're okay. Cover's really nice too, by the way. Really, really nice. Almost gives me. I don't even know who the. It's McGinnis, I think. I think this is Ed McGinnis. It's a really nice thing. I like McGinnis's run on Hulk and Red Hulk. I like them a lot. I think this is him. That's probably what attracted me to this cover. But that being said, we're done with the older books. Let's get into the newer ones. This one right here is really interesting. Really, really interesting. Because it's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Actually, it's really Masters of the Universe Revelation #1. Supposedly, this is some kind of prologue or prelude or explanation of how the cartoon series that Kevin Smith is working on right now is going to go. And I am nostalgic to He-Man. I was a He-Man kid. I was the master of the universe. Beat up Beastman and Merman and Skeletor and everybody, and had Battle Cat. The whole nine. I love this series. Gives me nostalgia to no end. Great cover. There was another cover that they had that, in my personal opinion, I don't know who it was. I'm not gonna say it, but it was one of the worst covers I ever seen, and should never have been associated with He-Man. But this one is classic looking He-Man cover, so I'm really intrigued. I wonder what it looks like on the inside. It's a mask over there. Oh wow! I just realized this is actually from Dark Horse. See, I'm not too thrilled with the art on the inside. Look at this. Well, it's got that animated style. All right, I could see that. It's got the animated style. I just wish they were consistent and had the animated style on the outside and on the inside, because this has some elements of it. But all right, I hope it's a good read. I hope that the actual series is a good series. I'm rooting for it. Maybe my kids will get into He-Man the way I was when I was a kid. So looking forward to this one. Next book on the list is, well, this is not brand new as far as the story is concerned, but it's brand new on brand new comic book day. Why? Because this is an exact facsimile of Werewolf by Night, first appearance of Moon Knight. Why did I get this? Because I'm not going to pay $4,000 for an original Werewolf by Night, and I want to have this at least as a spot holder in my collection until maybe one day I'll find one in rough shape. Maybe I'll find one in rough shape that's, really tolerable price wise. And then I could actually have an original copy, as long as, it's legible and reader condition at least, And then but I can't stomach paying for $3, $4, $5,000 for a book like this for Moon Knight. And this, by the way, was one of the books that I had in my original collection that was lost. This, I had multiple issues of Moon Knight #1, of Spider Woman #1 that I got for 50 cents a piece back then. And I didn't get them off the rack 50 cents a piece. I got them in like the discount bins for 50 cents a piece. Nobody wanted them back then. I felt like the discount bins back then were full of Spider Woman #1s, Dazzler #1s, where Moon Knight #1s, Green Arrow, Green Lantern #1, the newer series, um, Man of Steel #1s. I can't even tell you how many of those type of issues were in there, and nobody wanted them, and I would snatch them up. I really would. You know how many 182 Hulk 182s I would find in those discount bins, because nobody gave it any real credence or attention to the fact that it was Wolverine's like third appearance total, second cameo, but more than anything, the wrap up to that 3 issues arc as far as Wolverine's role in it, I found that to be interesting. But one of the reasons, other than the fact that I wanted to have this as a spot filler and I wanted the cover, is that I actually don't remember the story and how it works out. So I'd like to read it, and getting a facsimile, I could comfortably read it without having to worry about it. And if I want to mangle it, I'll mangle it, and I won't feel horrible about it. But I won't. I'll just take care of it. And something I really like a lot about this is, you see the back cover. Everything is as the original book was. Look at this. Look at these ads. I love this. I absolutely love this. The only major differences that you see between this and the original copies is obviously the page quality. These are much different. Those were like newspaper grade pages, and these are glossy pages. Okay. See, even it has the Stanley soapbox and letters that were written in it. I love that stuff. It's a great throwback. Look at these ads, karate, Marvel comic groups checklist. This is just like amazing throwback. Whoever thought of doing this, honestly, in my opinion, was super intelligent, and kudos to them for making this kind of choice of reprinting them in exactly the same way. Because there have been reprints in the past, but nothing with the ads and the covers and everything to exact T. The only other thing, other than the page quality, that's different is the barcode that you see down here. It's got the modern barcode, which I wish they could find a way not to have it right on the cover. If they could somehow find a way to put it in the back, I would love that. Um, because it's a little distracting to me. They have this little Marvel logo that's here. It doesn't bother me as much as the logo, the barcode itself. And then the price is different here, $3.99. Again, it'd be nice if they had the original price on there as well, and then just on the barcode on the back, or maybe on the inside cover. Since LCSs don't even put it in the plastic, might as well put the barcode on the inside and have them scan it that way, or like on the back somewhere. Like, I don't mind them taking a piece out of this and putting it there. I just would like to see um, the cover as authentic as possible. There's been facsimile covers that I strongly consider getting in slabs, because I love the comic so much, and I love the way it displays, that I would like it in a slab so I can hang it up. And a lot of times this bothers me and holds me back, and the price bothers me from holding it back. Not that I'm trying to pretend that I have the original copy by owning this, but I want to see it as authentic as possible when I'm holding it. I'll know, and anybody else that knows anything will know it's a reprint. But I pick these up whenever I see like issues that I never had, or when I actually have current issues. Like, let's say I had something like this that's in a great, or like in a grade that I don't want to manhandle and read through or something. I might get the facsimile so I can read through it, or let my kids read through it. So the next and last issue that I got is Fight Girls, number one of five, by Upshot Studios, AWA. AWA Upshot. Fight Girls. Don't know what this is, but I did see Frank Cho here. And I saw a bunch of girls fighting on the cover. The art's not bad on the inside. It's got that digital look again, but it's not bad. But again, it's Frank Cho, and I do like him. I appreciate his stuff. It's a number one about fight girls fighting some demonic dinosaur thing. Why not give it a chance? It's one of five. It gets me introduced to it. What did this cost me? This thing cost me. How much did this cost me? $3.99. It's teen plus. So if you're not a teen, don't read this, or at least hide it from your moms. So cost me $3.99. I got a number one of some chicks, women, females. No, not being sexist. Some female protagonists wearing underwear-looking things, fighting dinosaurs. Titles called Fight Girls. Frank Cho did it. Figured I can't go wrong with that, can I? Look at this. Look at this freaking thing over here. A big dinosaur with girls hiding in its mouth, cowboy hat. It's got me intrigued. It's got me intrigued. Look at this. Look at this. And Frank Cho illustrated and written it. How could you go wrong? Look at this. This is a mean girl. She's got a eye patch and she's beat up the blonde, cracked her in the head over there. Look at that. I like Francho's style. Look at that big dinosaur bites and eats the fight girls. You've got pyramids and eye patches and fight girls and dinosaurs. I'm all in. Let's see what this is all about. This I like too. This I like too. By far, just letting everybody know once more, this was the pick of the week for me as far as book that's going to get the most amount of attention. I really do believe that. I'm not saying this is a sleeper because everybody knows about this book already. It's definitely going to get most of the attention. These Geigers, they're heating up like nothing else, and I think the one with the most future and potentially the most opportunity to pull back in a lot of people is this X-Men one. If they do the right thing with this new series, I think they could knock it out of the park. But they got to do the right thing. I'm done, and I'm sick of being burned with like reboots after reboots and reboots. Get it done right. Keep a consecutive series. Get rid of these number ones. Make it all. Bring it all back to the legacy numbers. And let's have our X-Men 1,000 before we know it. You know, that's what I wanted. But hey, I've become that get off the lawn guy. But that being said, I dragged this out way too long. I appreciate everybody logging in and joining me for this new comic book day unveiling. Part 2, minus the DC and minus the bad idea because I got that one yesterday. Shh, don't tell anybody. But that's it. So until next time, and until I meet you in the next video, you keep collecting, and I'll keep recollecting. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for joining me.